Right before the market crashed in 07, 08, you bought the entire Hilton Hotel company. What was your thinking about buying Hilton Hotel? Was it a real estate play or a corporate play?
I'd say it was a bit of both. We did the transaction with our real estate private equity funds and our corporate private equity fund because Hilton owned great real estate like the Waldorf Astoria, the Hilton Hawaiian Village, but it also had this amazing management franchise business. And when we bought the company, it was similar to the equity office transaction in that we thought we were able to buy something because of the scale and because it was in the public markets more inexpensively than we could buying these assets individually. And we also believed that the multiple was reasonable. We were paying 13 or 14 times cash flow for what we thought was a great business. Our mistake, of course, was that our timing was terrible. We closed on the transaction at the end of 07. In less than a year, of course, Lehman would collapse, the global economy would be melting down, global travel would decline dramatically, this company's revenues would go down 20%, cash flow would go down 40%, and we marked our largest investment ever as a firm down by 71%. That was not a good feeling. But what I would tell you is we believe the decline was cyclical in nature. And so we invested $800 million more at the bottom. We stuck with the company. It started growing. There was a cyclical recovery. We ultimately took it public. We broke it into 3 different companies, a management franchise, timeshare, and real estate business. And we made $14 billion for our investors. So it ended well.
Well, when it wasn't looking so good, did you go home to your wife and say, you told me to go into real estate and maybe it wasn't such a good thing? You didn't say that?
You know, it's funny. In all seriousness, my wife and my children, that was really important. As you know, in a period of time when things are stressed, having people you can rely on and talk to and who still believe in you is really important. And it was hard because you felt terrible, you felt badly with your colleagues, with your investors, but we never lost faith. And really for me, that experience, that searing experience in Hilton was probably the most important thing for me as an investor. Because what I learned was we bought at the worst time possible and we ended up having the most successful deal of all time. And what that said is we had bought a really great business in what we call a great neighborhood. It had terrific tailwinds. Global travel is a growth industry. These brands were super valuable. And so what it's led me to think is too often when we invest capital, we focus on, I'll call it the individual house, not am I in the right sector? Do I have those tailwinds? And in this case, this was a fundamentally great business and we could afford to have paid too much and do it at the wrong time. But ultimately with the right management team, the right financial support, we made a bunch of money. And that has really impacted everything I've done since then.